Hello, Jaime from Inky&Scrappy, sharing with you today my anniversary card, because I'm a trophy wife, but the kind you just get for showing up. I am starting with some Ink on 3 fade out ink on some Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm pulling in some Prisma color pencils today. I have not done no line coloring in a hot minute, and I don't know if I've ever done, well, maybe I've done colored pencil no line coloring maybe once before in my life. Maybe. I mean, aside from actually drawing with colored pencils, but that's not really coloring, that's creating or drawing, whatever. So I tend to try to do image likeness, I guess, when I color images for at least our anniversary cards or other people's anniversary. I try to do, I don't know, using them as a guide for coloring. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, so for the hair on this one, I am coming in with my darker tone first. Of course, I'm dirty blonde-ish brown, so my creation here is going to be the same. And then green eyes, because I have green hazel, not blue brown hazel. Blue green? Is it blue green hazel? I have brown green hazel. Anyways, I'm sure there's a different name for it. I just don't remember what it is off the top of my head. So I'm bringing in that image that is actually stamped onto the sheet of paper. It helps me when my lines don't come through very well, which it's stamped all right, but it didn't stamp perfectly on like the hands there and the cup. And so I kind of needed to bring that image back in to make sure I was going to have my things lined up properly so it didn't look all weird. And then, of course, just continuing to add layers and colors. I did speed this up 10 times. If you're not interested in watching it, that's totally fine. Go ahead and, speed through. I want to say it's probably about the 3.5 to 4 minute mark when I am done coloring my image here. So for my actual colors, I did bring in our writing colors, which were burgundy, royal blue, not royal blue, navy blue, and hunter green. And I'm also bringing in a colorless, it's called a colorless blender that Prisma, they come with the Prisma pencils, like when you buy the big case. You can also buy them separately on their own, but it's not the same as Gamsol, because Gamsol will actually melt your wax in your colored pencil. This one just kind of helps to smooth it all out. It blends it, but you can still see the colored pencil lines, if you know what I'm getting at. Where Gamsol definitely makes it more look like paint as per pencil. I don't know. Does that make sense? It might not. It's alright. It's me. It is what it is. So I'm just adding some more shape to my image here, kind of bringing in layers of color, trying to get in those lowlights and highlights and make it all look good. This is what I mean about that colorless blender. You see how it kind of just helped to make that green pop a little bit more. And then I can come back in with some more green. I did come in with a little bit of black, I do believe, or dark, I think it was probably a dark gray, to kind of bring in some more contrast, because I wasn't getting a deep enough tone with the green that I had. And so adding in a gray or a black kind of helps with that. And then, of course, I added some dot detail as well. Those are the colors that I ended up using for my image. So if you are interested, there you go. I ended up hand cutting it out. I don't trust my brother Scan and Cut for no line coloring. It just does not pick up those skin tones and light yellows very well. And so to kind of save myself some time and, frustration, I just hand cut that out. And of course, I saved you some time by cutting some of it out. I'm going to also cut out a bunch of this because this took me quite a while. I am using, I think it's called Pop Icons from Ink Road Stamps. I liked the hearts with that bold, like, pow kind of phrasing. I don't know. It's not really phrasing, but that pow, like the comic strip look or that pop icon look. And so, of course, I needed it bigger than it was. And so I'm just going to do some creative masking, cleaning my stamp off continuously and kind of building my POW bubble, I guess, behind where my image is going to sit, if that makes sense. So I just continuously like moved it around, kind of cleaned my stamp constantly, and then of course heat set it continuously just to keep going and making it work. So now once I got her head figured out, I did come in with a light pencil and moved my image over slightly and traced it. This way I could make sure that I had the area covered that I needed to cover. I wasn't worried about what the middle was going to look like because my image is going to go there. But I wanted to make sure that I was far enough over that I would get that, I don't know, that radiant comic look behind it. And so that was what I did. I did add the sentiment onto my base here. It did not turn out. I wasn't worried about it not turning out. I wanted to try it. If it didn't work, it didn't work. And it didn't work. So I will end up coming in later with a fix for that one. So to start this one, I'm coming in with barn door. And then, of course, I'm going with some fired brick. And I'm going to work my way up to the aged mahogany here. You're not going to see a whole lot of that barn door color, but I wanted it lighter in the center, just a little bit. And I did this with a blending brush. I probably would have gotten faster and better color coverage with a blending foam. I don't want to say I was being lazy. I just didn't grab my blending foams out for this one. And so once I am content with how my background looks, I did clean off that embossed area to kind of get that embossed resist, and then I added a little bit of water splatter for some interest. And then I'm going to come in and stamp my sentiment one more time, and then I'm going to come in with a Lawn Fawn's stitched rectangle die. The banner just wasn't going to be enough, and then I did end up moving it over so it would cut out kind of a partial cut, so it would be a little bit shorter than what I had for my, I needed a custom sized one. And so I'm going to come in with some foam adhesive sheet here and pop up that sentiment a little bit. It's kind of twofold. It kind of gives my character here a place to rest, and it also adds a little bit of dimension to the card as well. So to make it all stick down, I am adding some weight on top of my image here, and then of course I do usually add glue on top of my foam adhesive sheet, so I get a little bit of wiggle room if I don't like exact placement right away. I also did cut my panel out using a stitched rectangle stack from Lawn Fawn, so it has that finished edge look to it. I'm bringing in some black licorice jelly hearts from Trinity stamps, and I'm just kind of gonna set them around the outside. I wanted them not to cover so much. I thought about covering the hearts, but I kind of decided I wanted them just added interest around it. This helps pull that black from that black bold sentiment into the rest of the card, I felt, and it helps me hide any of those areas that I wasn't great with my stamping on, and so it definitely kind of fixes anything that might not have looked, at least to my eye, perfect. And then of course I always struggle with when to stop adding embellishments. So I usually tend to work in, groups of 3. And so I maybe could have stopped with this one, but I just felt like it needed something on that other side yet. And so I did end up adding one more into that one. And then I had to stop. I had to force myself to stop because a part of me wanted to add some more little ones around the outside. A big part of me wanted to add some more. So once I was done with that, I needed a background piece of paper to kind of, I don't want to say contrast. I wanted it to coordinate, kind of to complement, there we go, that was the word I'm looking for, complement my colored image here. And of course, I'm using my wedding colors. So I'm bringing in that deep dark green. And then I'm going to use, I ended up using Uncharted Mariner instead of a navy, or not navy, yeah, a navy blue, just because it matched the blue that I used on my image a little bit better. Now, when I did this, I should have thought ahead to maybe line my finished panel up onto that plaid to make sure that it had either all green all the way around it or had a thinner layer of cream. I don't know if it would have worked per se, but I think I would have liked it a little bit better if I would have, you know, paid attention to that. Only because it sits on my counter now and I kind of go, if I would have like measured it just a little bit better, and I wouldn't have one side that has all cream showing. Well, two sides that have cream showing and then two sides that don't have any cream showing. You know, it's the little things in life. That's why I'm just a participation trophy. You know, the one that you get for showing up. Yeah, kind of wife. It's all good. So once I had my card panel done, I decided I needed to do a little bit extra for the inside of the card. So I'm just using my already inked up brush and stencil here and just kind of adding a little bit of that heart stenciling around the inside part. And then I'm going to bring in a couple of stamps from, I used them last year too, from Colorado Craft Company. I will list it below. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's like their love sentiment set. I want to say it might have the girl on. I don't think it has girls. I think it's just sentiments. I love Colorado Craft Company's font sentiment stuff. It's chef's kiss. Beautiful. Anyway, so I'm adding that onto my card base, and that will complete my anniversary card. Funny, haha. Yes, my husband did appreciate it. Of course, I got blue ink on her face, and so I came in with a little bit of water on the towel there and was able to buff it off, so, you know, no harm, no foul. The joy of colored pencils, they are water resistant. So there's my completed. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Keep getting inky. Take care. Bye.